there's obviously an inherent value of the bullion behind it, whether it be silver or gold.
Yeah.
But then there's like this intangible, right, around the collectible nature of it as well. So if it's something like a queen, and so this is why I was looking at them, right? Because what if the queen died later this year? Does that make all of a sudden these gold bullion coins that have got the queen on them more valuable? Does that make them, if you go to buy them later on, does the price go up? And then, like you say, is it harder to recover that kind of cost if you're looking at it from an investment perspective?
So there's a couple of things to consider here. One of them is
Welcome to the Exponential Investor Podcast. Want to be a better, smarter, more clued up investor? Well, you've come to the right place. We cover the breakthrough investment ideas you don't hear about in the mainstream to keep you on top of the megatrends and opportunities reshaping our world.
Welcome to the Exponential Investor Podcast. I'm your editor, Sam Volkery, here with my co-editor, Shay Russell. Thanks again for joining us this week, Shay. As you can hear, I'm a little bit nasally, which accentuates my Australian accent because I've had a cold. I believe you've just recovered from one, Shay. Is that right?
Certainly have. My cold morphed into a sinus infection. So last week I was very sad and sorry for myself, but now I feel great.
Oh, good. But we've both been in the wars, and I mean, I say in the wars, but at least as people are watching this today, it's a bank holiday long weekend here in the UK. I still find it quite amusing. In Australia, as you are well aware, we just call them public holidays because they're holidays for the public. But here, they continue on with this idea of a bank holiday because the banks are shut. Well, a lot of things are shut. But anyway, it's just a quirk of cultures, I suppose. But it's a 4-day bank holiday long weekend because of the Queen's Jubilee. Platinum Jubilee. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that bothered by the monarchy. I think they're lovely, and I'm sure they're great. But it's not that big a deal to us in Australia. What it means to Australians is that we usually get public holidays. Now, are you getting these extra bank holidays down in Australia, or is it just us here in the UK that we get a 4-day long weekend?
It is just you, and I'll be honest, I do feel a little robbed. We get the Queen's birthday celebration. We're going to celebrate on that on the second Tuesday of June, but we don't get this extended 4-day break to celebrate 60 years of the Queen.
70, I think it's 70.
Okay, right.
Nonetheless,
I'm representing quality very well, aren't I?
I tell you what. So look, it's a thing about the Queen. And she, people here love the Queen, and I get that. It's a cultural thing, history and all that. But that means the markets are closed. Well, at least the British markets are closed. The UK market here is shut, which means no investing Thursday and Friday. And what do we do when the markets are shut? So I've been looking at some things because I know there are people that look about what we're going to talk about today, and I've been looking at it myself, and I'm a bit confused, Shay. And I know you're an expert in this area, and I want to talk to you about investing or collecting bullion and coins, collectible things around. So the Royal Mint here does a lot of commemorative stuff, like they had gold proof and gold and silver coins for like Winnie the Pooh. They do stuff all the time, right? And I've been thinking about getting some for a little while for my boys. Part of it is a collectible thing. It's like, they're kids, some, gold Winnie the Pooh coins would be cute. And then maybe they can like pass them on to their kids. Maybe it becomes a family heirloom kind of thing, right? But then at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe there's also an investment side to it. Because if we're buying gold coins for them, then, in 100 years' time, when a couple of generations, or 200 years' time, when a couple of generations later, we've got these collectible Winnie the Pooh coins, gold coins, maybe it's worth something down the track. But I am dead confused because there's so much, and well, I know a little bit about it, to be fair, but for people that are looking at this stuff, and I know loads of people look at this and look to invest or collect or buy, but it is confusing, and I want to try and see if we can iron out some of the confusion here. So I'm going to go to the homepage of the Royal Mint. I'm going to step you through this because one of the things they're selling at the moment, obviously because of the Queen's Jubilee, is this Queen's Reign collection about, I'll read what it says. It says, as the Platinum Jubilee celebrations get underway with shared lunches, street parties, and concerts, we are honoring some of the most remarkable aspects of the longest reign in British history. Very patriotic stuff. But, so some of the collectible things here, right? So there's a £5 silver proof coin limited to 4,000, and it's £92.50. And then there's what else we got here? A Queen's Reign Honours and Investitures 2022 1 quarter ounce gold proof coin limited to 500, and it's £670. What do they mean when they say silver proof or gold proof? Can you help us understand what that means?
Oh my God. I was about to sit here and brag and talk about how much I'd learned working inside a bullion dealer for the past 12 months. But you know what word I did not learn enough about was proof. Because it does actually have a particular meaning, and it does describe I believe, a limited mintage run. However, numismatics, which is essentially what that coin is that you're describing, is a very highly specialized area. And I've actually got 2 friends in this I can call on. So I can correct my, I can't call them right now, but I will have an answer for the next time. So I can have the correct definition for you next time on proof. But generally, it means a limited run, like it's a once-off coin. Now, it's not a bullion coin, and there is a distinction between bullion and proof. Now, I believe when you tack bullion on, it's an investment. But when you put proof on, that sort of blurs the line a little bit, and it becomes more of a collectible rather than an investment coin. However, I may have to eat these words next week when I go speak to this numismatics expert.
Right. Well, so what I wanted to point out was that, so they do have bullion coins as well, right? So again, they do loads of different stuff. For example, there's a Maid Marian 1 ounce gold bullion coin, and it says from £1,592 for a 1 ounce gold bullion coin. Now, I'm guessing that means that the actual coin itself is pretty much pure gold. Right?
It should be. So if it's saying 1 troy ounce, because remember we're talking in troy ounces. It always annoys me how people never get that distinction in there. If they're saying 1 troy ounce, it should actually be 99.95 or the 4 nines.
That's right. Yes.
Now, what concerns me when it comes to buying coins is that they take a long time to go over the value that you've paid for them. So I'm just quickly look up what the spot price is in gold. In the gold spot price in pounds at the moment. Oh, and I've got my trading platform running.
Because that's the other thing, right? Is that there's obviously an inherent value of the bullion behind it, whether it be silver or gold. Yeah. But then there's like this intangible, right, around the collectible nature of it as well. So if it's something like a queen, and so this is why I was looking at them, right? Because what if the queen died later this year? Does that make all of a sudden these gold bullion coins that have got a queen on them more valuable? Does that make them, if you go to buy them later on, does the price go up? And then, like you say, is it harder to recover that kind of cost if you're looking at it from an investment perspective?
So there's a couple of things to consider here. One of them is the limited mintage. So I know one of the coins that I've put up on the website is a 1/4 ounce gold proof coin, the Queen's Reign. It's a limited mintage of 500. So arguably that one's more likely to be value on the second-hand market than the other one they've done a mintage of 4,000. Also, too, you've got to remember it's a very small audience that's buying them. So let's talk about the Winnie the Pooh one just to contrast it. It's more likely to have a big audience because the world loves Winnie the Pooh. Now, as great as Queen Lizzie is...
What, you mean the world doesn't love the Queen?
Well... It's a bit contentious, but as great as Queen Lizzie is, the audience is much smaller. So even though it is a limited mintage, you've got to remember that the second-hand market, it's like people in Australia who likes Valiant, which is a really obscure big old car from the 1970s that very few people love. But the people who do love them will always tell you that the value is going to be there. There's maybe 500 buyers in Australia for it. It's a very small market. So I get really nervous when people talk up the benefits of buying a collector coin, because yes, there is the intrinsic value of the metal. So the gold or silver in the coin is always going to be worth what gold or silver is worth at spot. But when you're buying these coins, especially ones with fancy designs, you're paying anywhere from a 30 to 40% premium to have that fancy design basically wrapped around the gold. So that means that the day you buy it, it's not worth what you paid for it. You've got to wait for the spot market to rise. And having bought coins over the past, now I've recently gotten rid of the majority of my silver coins. I've kept a handful for the kids. But, because they made me back my money and then some. But the problem is they're just a pain in the backside to store. But it took a long time for that value to come back because you pay so much more for them. That's in contrast to the bullion side of things. When it comes to bullion coins, is the premium is less, let's say 20 to 25%. And so it takes less amount of time to recoup those costs.
You just said you've offloaded a bunch. I'm curious to know what kind of process do you go through in offloading or selling something like a coin?
Look, it's tedious, and it basically depends on how you want to do it. So, look, I know pretty much all the bullion dealers in Melbourne. So I took it to one bullion dealer who I know who was going to give me a low price. They'd just buy a bunch of coins at once because I knew they were going to melt them down straight away. The good ones that I knew would have some value in the collector's market or to other silver enthusiasts, I took to another bullion dealer that's got a few very hardcore silver fans on there and offloaded them to him. He was great, actually, gave me a great price. So that's what I can do because I know a lot of the bullion dealers. For some people, though, that's not the best way of doing it. They like to sell them on eBay. Now, eBay is where you're going to get your money back. You will get what you paid for them. The problem is it takes a long time to sell them via eBay. If you do it the way I did it, is I basically took a discount, like that. You get a discount on the spot price. So when they offer to buy the coins back, they're not offering to buy back the artwork. They offer 5 to 10% less than the current spot price. So in my case, it didn't matter because the coins, I'd had them for so long, I wasn't losing money. As I said, I'd made money. But it does mean that if you paid $40 for a coin, let's say last year, and the spot price of silver is like $35, you're still out. And then you're going to get offered less at a bullion dealer. If you want really the market to meet you, then you've got to sell it on eBay. I've never bought coins from eBay. It's I think it's too. You don't really. I'm talking about the benefits of selling on eBay, but you don't really know what gold or silver you're getting. I like to buy from a bullion dealer in that sense, but they're sort of the best avenues that you can go.
Well, that's what I was just about to ask. Is that it sounds like eBay is a great place to probably sell some stuff if you've got it. Buying it, it feels like it would. Like I've bought lots of stuff off eBay. Don't get me wrong, but it's like parts for a computer or something like that, right? It's not silver or gold bullion coins because the risk would have to be that you're just not 100% sure that you're getting what you're getting, right?
Yeah, and there's some fantastic fake bars coming out of Wish at the moment that they're mimicking the Perth Mint here in Australia. And
fake bars?
Fake gold bars, and they're made with a very heavy metal. Now, if you're around gold a lot, you'd actually know it wasn't gold the minute you touched it. But if you're a novice and you've never felt gold before and you don't know how heavy it should feel for the ounce that you're getting, you couldn't identify it. And the bars, they really do look good. And I've actually heard a couple of stories now where people have bought these bars at a discount on eBay. So rather than paying the full spot price, they pay $100 less. People feel like they're getting a bargain, but what they've really got is just a heavy mix of base metals. And then they only find out when they go to a bullion dealer to cash it in for the spot price. And the bullion dealer's like, you've bought base metals, mate. This is painted with gold. So this is why I actively discourage anybody from buying precious metals on eBay. Buy them from a registered dealer for this reason.
So if somebody's looking to buy, I imagine if you're buying from the Royal Mint, there's an air of certainty of course of what you're going to get.
Absolutely, I actually know people at the Royal Mint from my past life.
So and this is probably another question which applies to people out there in Australia and here in the UK as well. If someone was looking to buy a bullion coin or a bullion bar, while you could go to the Royal Mint, are there any other avenues? I mean, if you go, is the price going to vary from sort of dealer to dealer, or is something like the Royal Mint with that certainty, probably the preferred place to go?
Not really. So one of the things that I discovered once I started working in the bullion business is the margins are razor thin. You're literally haggling over cents or $1 on an ounce. Like there's really not a lot of difference between it. So what companies like the Royal Mint do is they make the product, but then they've generally got their distributors that they sell them to, which would be your local bullion shop. And if the Royal Mint is selling their product to that local bullion shop and they're an authorized distributor, then yeah, they're probably really good. So given that there's much of a muchness when it comes down to the price, I've always said go to your bullion dealer that offers you the best service. Because that's what I've done over the years is if you're getting the best service and they know your investment style, they might call you up and be like, oh, look, I know you like this type of bar. We're actually got a new batch coming in. Do you want me to put some aside for you? So that's what I've always suggested because you're not haggling over much and it's not worth it. You're better off going to the business that wants your business and will take pre-orders from you because I know there are some pre-orders that and that gives you, will work with you to get what you want. And because they'll be happy most of them will be happy to have you custom.
Yeah, no doubt. I would imagine so. And I think, that's a great sort of piece of advice for people that, find authorized, bullion dealers or go to somewhere established like the Royal Mint. Maybe buying off of eBay, or if you think you're getting a bargain on Wish or something for a gold bar, probably want to avoid that sort of thing. Because look, it's an interesting thing. And look, as I said, on the Royal Mint side, there's some great stuff. There's like a James Bond Diamonds Are Forever minted 1 ounce gold bar, bullion bar. It's like £1,600, which again I think it's over the odds in terms of the spot price, but there's a collectible nature to it. It's James Bond, it's packaged up nicely in a Royal Mint kind of thing that you could put in a safe box or, have on display somewhere and keep it for a long time. Feels like, you're getting a little bit of that extra juice on the top with it. But I would think that if you're in it for the investment purposes, and feel free to correct me, but I think you probably agree here. If you're in it for the investment purposes, just buy the like boring old bars or the little ounces or whatever. If you're in it for, the designs and things like that, just take that sort of collectible nature to it and just say, I'm buying this because I like the look of it, or I want to make it a family heirloom or pass it on to generations, whatever it might be. I think that gives you a good choice. And I think we'll wrap it up with that today because, it is a long weekend. I'm sure people are having barbecues and getting on the sauce and, having a good time. Hopefully it's going to be nice and sunny for everyone this long weekend. But I did notice, Shay, on the Royal Mint site, there is one thing in particular that I would like to buy. I'm probably not going to buy it, but well, maybe one day down the track. It's a 400-ounce gold bar cast in bullion. And it's priced from £610,173.90.
Yes.
That's pretty big.
So
I'm
I've
guessing.
held one of those in my hand. There's a photo of me on Twitter. So they're the equivalent of 12.4 kilos. And I've got one of those, holding one of those in my hand. It's on Twitter somewhere, drinking champagne at the same time. It's in Australia, that one gold bar that you're talking about is roughly the median house price here. And I can hold that.
So a bit over $1 million.
Yeah, terrifying. Not sure what the UK equivalent is. I'll have to make some friends over there, come over there and do a gold.
Oh, that's much more than the average house price. I mean, it's not as much as the average house price in London, but if you factor in the rest of the country, it's more than the average house price.
In fact, I can afford to buy.
I'm trying to figure out how much sort of 12 kilos is, and like my cat is about 8 kilos, so it's basically one and a bit of this guy. So that's a pretty heavy gold bar.
I'll be honest, they are the ultimate dream for gold investors to have one or two of those floating around.
Do you know many people with one, or I suppose that's the kind of thing you don't tell people you've got? I have met
people with one and have encouraged them to stop telling people that they've got them. I'll be honest, when you say that, so when you're buying a 400-ounce bar, it's mostly just buying it for the flex. There's, it's not a practical investment decision for many reasons that we won't go into today. But it's a flex to say I've recently bought a 400-ounce bar, followed by that you need to stop telling people you've bought a 400-ounce bar.
Yeah, and you absolutely don't keep something like that at home. You keep it in a vault with biometric security and 24-hour guards with like AR-15 automatic rifles and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we've got on long enough today talking all things gold and collectible coins on this Jubilee long weekend here in the UK. Thanks again, Shay, for your insight and expertise. I hope you've all enjoyed seeing my cat lifted up and down several times and enjoyed our little chat about collecting gold. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back with you again soon, or next week, or the week after. I'm actually away for a couple of weeks, so you'll probably get Shay and some guests appearing in the short term. But I'll be back with you at some point. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.